When we think about color, we often focus on the individual color itself, but in reality, color is never experienced in isolation. The context surrounding it can drastically affect how we perceive it. And as UI designers, it's crucial to understand this dynamic to create effective and impactful designs. Let's start by reminding ourselves how the human eye perceives color. Our brains process color based on the wavelengths of light that hit our eyes. When we see a particular color, we're not just seeing the color itself, but also the wavelengths of light that it's reflecting and absorbing. But the thing is, the colors around it also reflect and absorb light, which can influence how we perceive the color in question. Remember the dress? The internet erupted in an energetic debate on whether it was blue and black or white and gold. That's how extreme the perception can trick us. It was black and blue, by the way. A good example of how colors and context can trick us is looking at the colors in D-squares. When two adjacent colors influence each other, they change our perception of these colors. More or less saturated, more or less bright. This is known as simultaneous contrast, where the colors next to each other affect each other's hue, saturation, and brightness. Simultaneous contrast is just one example of how context affects color perception. Another example is contrast effects, where the perceived brightness of a color can be influenced by the brightness of the color surrounding it. This can be especially important in UI design when creating buttons or call to action elements. By using contrast effects, you can create buttons that appear more vibrant and eye-catching, drawing the user's attention to where you want it. Now let's take a look at a more extreme example of how context can affect color perception. As you can see, the color itself isn't different, but our perception tells us it is. It's the exact same shade of gray used in both squares. Changing a color's appearance by changing the background or lighting is one of the most common techniques in optical illusions. It's only because of the context surrounding it that the color appears different. This is known as the color constancy effect, where our brains try to adjust for the surrounding colors and lighting to perceive a color as consistent across different contexts. As UI designers, it's important to keep the color constancy effect in mind when creating designs. This means being mindful of the lighting conditions that your design will be viewed in, as well as the other colors that will be surrounding it. Contrasting colors can even give you the illusion of motion. So, what can we take away from all of this? Well, firstly, context is everything when it comes to color perception. Understanding how the colors around your design affect how it's perceived is crucial for creating effective and impactful designs. Secondly, don't be afraid to experiment with color combinations and backgrounds and see how they interact with each other. By being mindful of how context affects color perception, you can create designs that truly stand out. I encourage you all to keep exploring and experimenting with color and to always keep context in mind when doing so. Thank you.